A trio of souls. Humanity found connection in chaos. The silence after the disaster felt heavier than sound. Broken metal drifted through open space, slow and quiet, like frozen rain. The human exploration ship had been strong once, built for deep travel and long missions. Now it was split into wounded pieces, torn open near a dying star that flickered with weak light. No alarms rang anymore. No voices answered the last calls for help. Inside one of the surviving sections, a man floated alone. His name was Aaron. He was a pilot trained to stay calm, trained to survive. His suit lights were low, and his breathing sounded loud in his ears. He moved slowly, careful not to push himself into sharp edges or drifting fire. His mind tried not to count the dead. He knew most of the crew was gone. He knew help was far away. Aaron reached a damaged door and forced it open by hand. The power was almost gone, so the door moved only because he pushed with all his strength. On the other side, the room was dark. Then a faint blue glow moved. Aaron raised his tool, ready to strike if needed. The glow belonged to a being he had never seen before. The figure was thin and tall, with smooth skin that reflected the light like water. Long fingers worked inside a broken panel, moving with calm focus. Wires bent and clicked under gentle pressure. The being did not turn right away. It kept working, as if Aaron was just another piece of floating debris. Aaron swallowed and spoke slowly. He kept his voice steady, even though fear pressed against his chest. The figure turned. Its eyes were wide and dark, filled with thought rather than threat. It did not raise a weapon. It only watched him. After a long moment, it gave a slow nod. They did not share words, but understanding passed between them. Survival came first. The being pointed to a nearby panel. The ship still had some air, some power, but not much time. Aaron helped without question. He held parts steady while the alien repaired broken links using tools that were not tools at all, but parts of its own body. Thin lines of light flowed from its fingers into the metal. The panel hummed softly. A small pocket of light returned to the room. Aaron felt hope rise, sharp and sudden. Before he could speak again, a heavy thud echoed through the corridor. Something slammed into the outer hull. The ship shook, sending them both spinning. Aaron grabbed a handle and looked toward the sound. A third shape drifted into view. This one was clearly hostile. Dark armor covered its body, scratched and cracked from battle. Its helmet was broken, showing a narrow face with hard eyes. One arm hung loose, damaged. In its other hand it held a weapon, though the power cell was empty. The enemy scout had survived. Aaron felt his muscles tighten. Training told him to attack. Memory told him what this species had done to human ships before. He moved between the scout and the glowing alien without thinking. The scout laughed, a dry sound. No attack came. Instead, the scout let the weapon float away. It spread its good hand slowly, showing it carried no power source. Its eyes never left Iran. 3 survivors, 3 enemies, by history. 1 dying ship. The glowing alien moved first. It floated between them, placing itself where a shot would pass through its body. It tapped its chest, then the ship wall, then pointed outward into space. Its meaning was clear. If they fought, they all died. Aaron nodded once. They worked in tense silence. Aaron rerouted air. The glowing alien, whose name Aaron did not know, sealed fractures and slowed power loss. The scout watched, then slowly joined, using tools from its belt to stabilize the hull. Trust did not exist, but need did. Minutes passed. The star outside pulsed weakly, throwing long shadows through the broken ship. Aaron noticed something strange. The damage patterns were wrong. The ship had not been hit by weapons alone. Something else had crushed parts inward, as if space itself had folded. He spoke quietly, mostly to himself. This was no normal attack. The scout looked up sharply. Its eyes narrowed. It said a few words in a harsh language, then pointed toward the star system map still glowing faintly on a cracked screen. It traced a wide circle with its finger. The glowing alien stiffened. Aaron understood without words. This place was dangerous. Not because of war, because of something hidden here. The ship suddenly trembled again, stronger than before. Lights flickered. A low sound passed through the hull. Not heard, but felt, like pressure on the mind. Aaron felt a strange pull in his chest, as if something far away had noticed him. The emergency beacon activated. Aaron froze. He had not touched it. The alien had not either. The beacon light pulsed red, sending a signal into the dark. The scout cursed softly. That signal was old, powerful, and wrong. The glowing alien moved toward the beacon, its light flickering unevenly. It touched the casing, then pulled its hand back fast, as if burned. Its eyes filled with alarm. It shook its head and made a sharp cutting motion. The beacon was not calling for help. It was calling to something. Outside the ship, space shifted. Stars bent slightly, like reflections on moving water. Aaron felt the pull again, stronger now. Images flashed in his mind that were not his own. Fires, crowds, fear, voices crying out in many languages. He gasped and grabbed the wall. The scout stared at him in shock. The glowing alien stepped closer, placing a hand on Aaron's arm. The touch was warm, steady. The images faded. Aaron understood something terrifying. Whatever had caused the disaster was aware of him, of humans. The beacon continued to pulse, sending its signal deeper into the system. Somewhere far away, something answered. The ship groaned as its remaining power drained faster. Time was running out. Aaron looked at the other two survivors. Enemies, strangers, and now the only souls left in this broken place. He spoke slowly, clearly, knowing they might not understand every word, but would feel the meaning. If we stay apart, we die. The scout hesitated, then nodded once. The glowing alien tightened its grip on Aaron's arm, as if agreeing. Outside, the dying star flickered again. In its weak light, something massive moved, hidden behind the wreckage and shadow. The signal had reached its target, and it was coming closer. The three survivors moved cautiously through the damaged corridors. Aaron led the way, his hand pressed against the wall to keep balance as the ship floated slowly in space. The scout stayed close behind, silent, eyes scanning every shadow. The glowing alien moved in the middle, its light dimmed but steady. They did not speak much. Words seemed useless when the air was short, and every sound carried across the hollow metal. They reached the control room. It was battered, panels hanging loose and wires exposed. The screens flickered with warnings, red lines tracing the damage across the ship's systems. The three paused to take in the room. Aaron scanned the main console, searching for data they could use. "Life support is failing," Aaron said. His voice was calm, but his heart raced. "We have maybe 2 hours if we do nothing." The scout made a sound almost like a growl, then pointed to one of the panels. It opened the hatch and began repairing a power conduit. Aaron hesitated, watching, then joined to help. Sparks flew, and the panel hummed back to life. The alien watched silently, then extended a hand. Thin streams of light entered the panel, repairing circuits faster than human hands could. Aaron realized the alien's power was more than skill. It was something else, something connected to the ship itself. As they worked, Aaron finally asked the question that had been pressing him since the disaster. Why did the attack happen? Who did this? The scout froze. Then, slowly, it spoke in broken common language. "Not us." Something older, something in this system. We were sent to capture it, not destroy it. It awoke. The alien's glow flickered, its eyes wide. It moved closer to Aaron and the scout, almost shielding him. The alien made sounds in its own language, quick and low. Aaron did not understand the words, but he felt the urgency. The ship groaned again. A new tremor shook them. Panels fell. One window cracked under pressure. Aaron held the console, feeling the vibration through his gloves. Whatever had awoken outside was not waiting quietly. They needed to leave the ship, but the escape pods were damaged. The scout checked its arm and muttered words of frustration. Aaron looked at the alien, who gestured toward the ship's main thrusters. If they could get the thrusters partially online, they could push the wreckage away from the star, buying them time.
Aaron nodded.
He worked quickly, following the alien's silent instructions. The scout assisted, grumbling, but clearly skilled with technology. They synchronized, each relying on the other without trust, only need. As the thrusters powered up, the ship trembled violently. Something was outside, moving slowly, enormous. Shadows stretched across the broken hull, impossible shapes that bent light strangely. Aaron felt his stomach tighten. The images from before, the flashing fires, the cries of many lives, came back in fragments. This force was aware of them. It was curious, maybe testing them. "Do not touch it," the alien warned, its voice soft but urgent in thought. Aaron nodded. They kept their hands off the control panel that seemed to have a mind of its own. The scout spoke again. "If it knows we are here, it may come for us. Alone, it would destroy anything in reach." Aaron swallowed. He realized the scout was right. Survival meant staying together, no matter the old hatred or fear between them. Minutes passed, then hours. They managed to stabilize some systems, but the ship was still slowly losing atmosphere. Aaron checked the life support readings repeatedly. Each number falling closer to danger made his chest tighten. A scout worked in silence, repairing mechanical systems, muttering technical words Aaron barely understood. The alien focused on the energy flow, moving like a shadow through the room. At one point, the alien paused. Its eyes widened. Aaron followed its gaze and saw it. Outside, a faint shimmer in the darkness. Something moved in a wave of black. Not a ship, not metal, not flesh. It changed shape as it moved. It observed, studying them, learning. Aaron took a deep breath. "We can't stay. We have to find shelter," he said. The alien nodded and pointed toward an escape hatch near the engine room. The scout went first, then Aaron, then the alien. The hatch led to a smaller section of the ship, a research module that had not been destroyed. They entered cautiously. Inside the module, the lights flickered. Equipment was damaged but not beyond repair. Aaron touched the consoles carefully. The scout examined storage compartments while the alien moved to a sealed section of the wall. It pressed a palm against it, and the wall shimmered, revealing a hidden energy source. Aaron gasped. This was new, unknown technology. The alien gestured for them to be silent. Then it extended its hand over the energy core. Streams of light entered it, calming the unstable currents. The thrumming energy of the module matched the alien's glow. Aaron felt the hum in his chest, an odd connection forming between him and the being. The scout, watching, said softly, This energy. It is not ours. It reacts to life differently. Only certain beings can touch it." Aaron looked at his hands, then back at the alien. He realized they had no choice. Trusting this alien was necessary for survival. Hours passed. They rested briefly, eating what little food remained. The scout shared rations silently. No words. Aaron ate slowly, thinking about the disaster, the ship, and the enormous unknown waiting outside. The alien hovered near the energy core, its glow pulsing in rhythm with the light from the dying star. Then the module shook, not a tremor from the ship but a vibration through space itself. Aaron floated to a window and looked out. Shadows moved among the wreckage, shapes large enough to cover the broken hull entirely. They were not ships, not natural phenomena. They were alive. Aaron's chest tightened. "It is coming closer," he said. The scout nodded, pulling a small device from its belt. It activated a scan. The screen filled with strange readings. Aaron had never seen energy like this. It moved and changed, feeding from something unseen. The scout looked at him, eyes serious. "It senses fear," it said. "If we panic, it will find us first." Aaron swallowed hard. He turned to the alien. Its glow seemed brighter now, focused. He realized it could control the energy. Perhaps it could shield them. The three survivors prepared for what was coming. Silence fell again. No one spoke. No one moved unnecessarily. Outside, the unknown force hovered closer, waiting, testing. Aran's mind raced. They had survived the disaster, but this was far from over. They needed to understand what they were up against, and fast. The unknown force was patient, and it was intelligent. It would not make a mistake. And they could not afford one either. Hours passed, shadows creeping closer, lights dimming. The trio huddled near the energy core, relying on each other in a way they never imagined. Old hatred, fear, and suspicion fell away under the weight of survival. Aran felt it clearly. If they stayed together, they might live. Alone, there would be nothing left. The alien touched the core again, sending a wave of calm through the room. Aaron felt connected, as if the energy flowed through him, too. The scout watched silently, its hard eyes softening slightly. For the first time, Aaron thought of them not as enemies or strangers, but as allies, however fragile. The ship groaned under the pressure of space itself. Outside, shapes twisted and shimmered, impossible and terrifying. The signal they had accidentally sent earlier had drawn it, and now was aware of them all. Aaron looked at the other two. He nodded once, silently. They understood. The fight to survive was just beginning. The universe was watching, testing them, and only by staying connected could they hope to endure the chaos ahead. The research module felt smaller as time passed. The walls seemed closer, the air heavier. Aaron floated near the energy core, watching its slow pulse. Each glow felt like a heartbeat. The glowing alien stayed close to it, almost as if guarding it. The scout sat near the entrance, silent, alert, eyes fixed on the dark corridor beyond. Outside the small window, space twisted in ways Aaron had never seen. Light bent and stretched. Shadows moved without shape or edge. The unknown force did not rush. It waited. That waiting felt worse than any attack. Aaron broke the silence. "We need answers," he said quietly. "This thing knows we are here. It reacts to us." "Why?" The scout looked at him for a long moment. Then it spoke, slow and careful. "Long before this war, stories existed, about a presence born from conflict. It feeds on chaos, fear, and loss. Most species avoid it. Some tried to control it. None succeeded." The glowing alien stiffened. It placed a hand against its chest, then pointed at Aaron. Its eyes showed something close to fear. Then it touched the energy core again. Aaron felt it. Not pain, not sound, a pull. His vision blurred. The room faded. He saw something else. He stood on a burning world. Cities fell. Ships crashed from the sky. Voices screamed in countless languages. Not just human voices. Many kinds. Many lives. All breaking at once. The chaos was endless. Then he felt something watching. Learning. Growing stronger. Aaron gasped and pulled back, grabbing the wall. He breathed hard, his chest tight. "That thing," he said slowly. "It knows war. It knows suffering. It was shaped by it." The scout nodded. "And humans are full of it," the scout said bluntly. "Your kind survives chaos. You adapt. That makes you interesting to it." The words were not meant as praise, but Aaron felt no anger. He understood. Humanity had lived through endless storms. Maybe that was why he could feel the presence so clearly. The module shook again. Not violently, but enough to make them all brace. The energy core flared brighter, then steadied. The glowing alien made a sharp sound and moved its hands quickly, directing the flow. Aaron watched closely. He noticed something important. The energy responded faster when Aaron was near. He moved closer without thinking. The alien did not stop him. The scout watched, tense, ready to act if needed. Aaron placed his hand near the core, not touching it, just close enough to feel the warmth. The light shifted. It softened. Aaron felt calm spread through his chest. The pressure in his mind eased. He could still feel the presence outside, but it felt distant, less sharp. The glowing alien looked at him with wide eyes. It made a low sound, almost a hum. The sound matched the energy pulse. "You can affect it," the scout said quietly. "That should not be possible." Aaron pulled his hand back slowly. "I don't think it's control," he said. "I think it listens." That realization hung heavy in the air. If the Force listened to humans, then humanity mattered more than anyone knew. Suddenly, a new signal appeared on the broken screen. Aaron turned quickly. The display showed movement at the edge of the system. Ships, many of them. Enemy fleets. The scout's face hardened. "They followed the signal," it said. "They will not stop." Aaron felt cold settle in his stomach. A battle here would wake the presence fully. The chaos would feed it. The glowing alien moved fast. It pointed at the energy core, then toward the ships on the screen. Then it crossed its arms sharply. "No fighting," Aaron said softly. "If they fight here, everything gets worse." The scout looked away. "They will not listen," it said. They never do. The first ships entered the system, weapons powered up. Space lit with sharp flashes of energy. The presence outside reacted instantly. Shadows stretched wider. The pressure returned, stronger than before. Aaron clutched his chest as another wave of images struck him. Pain. Fear. Loss. He dropped to one knee, breathing hard. The glowing alien rushed to him, placing both hands on his shoulders. The scout moved closer too, no longer caring about distance or old hatred. "Focus," Aran said through clenched teeth. "If it feeds on chaos, then we give it something else." He did not know how he knew that. He only felt it was true. He closed his eyes. He thought of Earth. Of crowded cities. Of people arguing, laughing, surviving. Of rebuilding after disaster. Of choosing to go on. The pressure changed. The presence hesitated. The energy core flared bright white. The glowing alien cried out softly but did not pull away. It guided the flow, matching Iran's thoughts. The scout watched in shock as the readings on its device shifted. "It is changing," the scout whispered. "The energy pattern, it is unstable." Outside, ships fired again. A cruiser exploded, scattering debris across space. The presence surged toward the battle, drawn by the fresh chaos. "No," Aaron said. He opened his eyes. "It's too much." The module shook violently. Cracks spread along the walls. The energy core pulsed faster, almost out of control. The glowing alien struggled to keep balance, its light flickering. "We must leave," the scout said urgently. "This place will collapse." Aaron looked around. "Where?" The scout pointed to the map. A nearby dead moon, small and barren, hidden in the shadow of the dying star. No atmosphere, but shelter could be made. The glowing alien nodded quickly. It moved to a control panel and began rerouting power. Aaron helped, his hand steady despite the shaking. The scout prepared a small transport pod, damaged but usable. As they worked, the presence pressed closer. Aran felt it watching him directly now. Not angry, curious, almost reaching. The transport pod sealed with a heavy clang. Aaron strapped in beside the alien. The scout took the controls with one good arm. The pod launched just as the research module tore apart behind them. They sped away from the wreckage, the dying ship breaking into pieces. Behind them, space twisted as the presence surged toward the ongoing battle. Aaron looked back through the small window. He felt a strange sadness. The ship had been their last tie to safety. Now it was gone. The pod shook as it entered the moon's weak gravity. The scout guided it down with skill born from long experience. The surface below was gray and cracked, lit faintly by the dying star. They landed hard. Metal screamed, then went still. For a long moment, no one moved. Then Aran unstrapped himself and looked at the other two. The glowing alien's light steadied. The scout exhaled slowly. tension leaving its shoulders. They had escaped, but the danger had only grown. Aaron stepped out onto the dead moon's surface. The ground crunched under his boots. Above them, space burned with distant battle. He felt the presence still farther now, but aware. It had noticed something new, not just chaos, connection. Aaron looked at the alien and the scout standing beside him. 3 lives from different worlds, bound together by survival. He felt it clearly. This was no accident. Whatever was out there had chosen this moment, this place, and these souls for a reason. And the universe was about to learn what happened when humanity faced chaos not with destruction, but with understanding. The dead moon was quiet in a way Aaron had never known. There was no wind, no sound, only the soft hum of the transport pod cooling behind them. The surface stretched out in gray cracks and dust, untouched and forgotten. Above, the dying star cast weak light, and far beyond it, flashes of battle lit space like distant storms. Aaron took a slow breath. The suit recycled the thin air inside, steady and calm. He looked at the other two. The glowing alien stood still, its light faint but steady, as if listening to something deep beneath the stone. The scout scanned the horizon with sharp eyes, every muscle tight. "We cannot stay exposed," the scout said. "If fleets come closer, they may scan this moon."
Aaron nodded. "We need shelter."
Something solid. The glowing alien moved forward. It placed its hand on the ground. Light spread from its palm, flowing through cracks in the surface. After a moment, it pointed toward a low ridge not far away. They walked carefully, boots crunching softly. As they neared the ridge, Aaron saw a dark opening beneath it, a natural cave deep and narrow, hidden from open space. The scout checked it first, weapon ready even without power. After a moment, it waved them in. Inside, the cave widened. The stone walls were smooth, shaped by ancient forces. Aaron felt a strange calm settle over him. The presence he had felt so strongly before was quieter here, distant, as if muffled by the moon itself. They set up what little equipment they had. Power cells were low. Food was limited. Time pressed on them again. The scout finally broke the silence. "Long ago," it said, "my people believed the presence was a warning, a result of too much war." A mirror held up to the universe. The glowing alien turned toward the scout, surprised. It made a low sound, curious. "My people," the scout continued, "believed it could be used, controlled. That belief destroyed many worlds." Aaron listened carefully. "And your people?" he asked the glowing alien. The alien's light dimmed slightly. It touched the ground, then raised one finger, then closed its hand. Loss. Failure. It touched Aaron's chest next, gently. "Understanding," Aaron said softly. The alien nodded. Aaron felt the truth settle inside him. Destruction had been tried. Control had been tried. Only understanding remained. Above them, space flared bright. The battle had grown. Ships clashed near the wreckage of the original disaster. Every explosion sent ripples through the presence. Aaron felt it stir again, restless and hungry. He pressed a hand to his chest, breathing slowly. The images returned, but weaker now. He focused on grounding himself, on the steady presence of the cave, the quiet strength of the moon. The glowing alien stepped closer. It placed both hands on the stone wall. Light flowed outward, forming faint lines along the rock. Aaron realized it was shaping a barrier, hiding their energy from scans. "You are protecting us," Aaron said. The alien looked at him, eyes calm. It touched Aaron's arm, then the scout's. Together. Hours passed. They rested in turns, conserving energy. Aaron slept lightly, dreams filled with shifting stars and distant voices. When he woke, the cave glowed faintly. The alien was awake, focusing deeply. The scout sat nearby, watching Aaron closely. "You changed back there," the scout said quietly. "When you touched the energy." Aaron nodded. "I can feel more now. Emotions. Intent. Not just from you. from far away. The scout was silent for a long moment. "That makes you dangerous," it said at last. "Or useful," Aron replied. The scout gave a short, humorless sound. "That depends on choice." Suddenly the cave trembled. Dust fell from the ceiling. Aaron felt a sharp pull in his chest, stronger than before. He staggered, catching himself against the wall.
"It found us," the scout said. "No," Aaron said, focusing.
"Not exactly. It feels confused." The glowing alien turned sharply toward Aron. It stepped closer, its light flaring. Darren closed his eyes and reached outward with his senses. He felt the presence stretching across the system, pulled in many directions by battle, fear, and loss. "It is tearing itself apart," Aron whispered. "Too much chaos." The scout's eyes widened. "If it breaks, this system will not survive." Aaron opened his eyes. "Then we cannot let it break." The words felt heavy, but true. The glowing alien placed a hand on Aron's chest again. This time, Aron did not flinch. He felt energy move between them, steady and calm. The scout hesitated, then stepped closer as well. "What are you doing?" the scout asked. "Listening," Aaron said. And answering. He focused on connection, not control. On shared pain, but also shared survival. He thought of humans rebuilding cities, of alien worlds recovering from loss, of lives choosing to continue despite everything. The pressure eased slightly. The cave walls glowed faintly, resonating with the energy. Outside, the battle slowed. Some ships pulled back, confused by sudden sensor failures and strange emotional waves spreading through crews. The scout stared at the scanner. "They are retreating," it said, disbelief in its voice. Aron exhaled slowly. "Not all of them." A new tremor hit, stronger than before. The moon itself shuddered. Aron dropped to one knee, pain lancing through his head. The presence surged, overwhelmed by fresh destruction as another ship exploded above. "I can't hold it alone," Aaron said through clenched teeth. The glowing alien moved instantly. It pressed its forehead gently against Aaron's helmet. Light flowed, strong and steady. The scout hesitated only a moment longer, then placed its hand on Aaron's shoulder. The connection deepened. Aron felt them both clearly now. The alien's calm focus. The scout's fierce will to survive. 3 minds, different but aligned. The presence reacted. For the first time, Aaron felt something new from it. Not hunger, not curiosity. Fear. It feared losing itself. Aron understood then. The presence was not evil. It was a result. A wound left by endless war. It did not know how to exist without chaos. "We can help it," Aaron whispered, "but it will change us too." The scout tightened its grip. "Change is better than extinction," the alien hummed softly in agreement. Above them, space twisted again. Energy built toward a breaking point. Aron felt his consciousness stretch, pulled toward the heart of the presence. The connection snapped into clarity. The cave shook violently. Aron cried out as the light around them flared blinding white. The last thing he felt before darkness took him was the steady presence of the other two, holding him in place as everything else seemed to fall apart. When the light faded, Aron lay still on the cold stone, breathing shallowly. The scout knelt beside him, armor scratched and cracked. The glowing alien hovered close, its light dim but stable. Aron was alive, but something inside him had changed forever. Far above the dead moon, the battle paused. Ships drifted, weapons silent. The presence withdrew slightly, wounded but aware, watching the small moon where 3 lives had dared to reach out instead of strike. The universe held its breath. What Aaron had become would decide what came next. The dead moon remained quiet, but the silence was heavy. Aron stood at the edge of a cliff, looking up at the distant flashes of battle far above in space. The dying star painted the horizon in dull red and gray, casting long shadows over the cracked terrain.
The air was thin, recycled through his suit, but every breath felt charged with anticipation.
The glowing alien hovered nearby, its light faint but steady. Its eyes seemed to focus inward and outward at the same time. The scout crouched close to Aaron, scanning the horizon for threats, muscles tense and ready. "Space is still alive," the scout muttered. "Not quiet, waiting." Aaron nodded. He could feel it too. The presence, the ancient force, had withdrawn somewhat after the connection they had made. But it was not gone. It pulsed in the dark, aware of everything they did. It had learned to feel something new. Hope. Aaron approached the glowing alien. Its hands hovered above the energy core they had salvaged. Streams of faint light wove into the stone around them, forming a protective pattern. Aaron touched one of the lines. He felt a strange resonance, like a heartbeat matched to his own. "I can feel it," he said softly. "It listens to us. Not our commands, but our thoughts." The scout snorted, but it was a soft sound. "Better than it feeding on our fear," it said. They had been on the moon for many hours, conserving energy, observing space. No ships had dared approach closely after the earlier displays. The presence had learned restraint, or at least curiosity. Aaron had learned to reach out with thought and feeling, to communicate with it in ways words could not describe. He closed his eyes and focused, not on battle, not on fear, on life, on the countless beings who survived, rebuilt, and endured. He imagined them all, connecting in their small ways across countless worlds. The energy core responded, lines of light pulsing brighter, spreading through the cave, reaching outward like threads into the void. The scout watched him, puzzled. "Are you controlling it?" Aaron opened his eyes slowly. "Not control, understanding. If it feels chaos, it will react. If it feels connection, it will pause. It listens, but it cannot choose." The glowing alien made a soft, approving sound, touching Aaron's chest gently. Its light brightened. Aaron felt calm flow through him, steady and real. For the first time since the disaster, he did not feel fear pressing down on his chest. Above the moon, the battle in space continued, but slower now. The fleets that had followed the signal hovered, scanning, unsure. Explosions were fewer. Ships moved with caution, sensing something new in the system. Aaron turned to the scout. "We can send a message. Not weapons. Not threat, only understanding." The scout frowned, then nodded slowly. "And they will listen?" Aaron shrugged. "Maybe not fully, but it will reach them." They began preparations. The glowing alien guided Aaron's thoughts into the energy core. Light streamed outward, forming waves that reached through space. Aaron focused on life, survival, connection, and the shared struggles of countless beings. The scout helped direct the energy, using its ship scanners to amplify the pulse toward the distant fleets. The first reactions came quickly. Ships hesitated, weapons powering down as crew members felt a sudden, unexplainable clarity. Fear and anger shifted to uncertainty. The presence outside sensed the change and paused. Its hunger, which had always been so sharp, dulled slightly. It was learning from them. Aaron felt the immense strain. Energy moved through him, through the alien, through the scout. Thoughts and feelings intertwined across species and minds. His head throbbed, but he held focus. Every wave of connection strengthened the pause in the fleets and eased the pressure from the presence. Then, a warning tremor shook the moon. Space responded violently. The presence was confused, sensing new forces but unsure of their strength. Aaron steadied himself, breathing slowly, keeping the flow of understanding constant. The scout glanced at him. "How long can you keep this up?" Aaron did not answer immediately. He felt the pull of chaos around them. He realized the connection had limits. If they wavered, the presence might react violently. But if they held steady, they could reshape what was coming. He nodded to himself. Hours passed. The moon shook lightly with each distant blast from the battle, but the connection held. Some enemy ships began to retreat, sensing a strange calm, or perhaps fear of the unknown. The presence in space remained, watching, learning, testing. Aaron felt something new. Emotions not his own, flowing toward him. Relief, hope, gratitude. Not from humans alone, but from many beings across the system, sensing their message. The connection was working. They were changing the outcome without violence. The glowing alien hovered closer, pulsing brighter. It was guiding the energy with precision now, reacting instantly to every fluctuation in Aaron's focus. The scout, once hostile, now worked in harmony, channeling energy efficiently and monitoring the distant fleets for any reaction. Finally, a ripple of calm reached the heart of the battle. Explosions slowed. Ships stopped firing. Weapon systems powered down. The ancient presence pulsed, retreating slightly, acknowledging the new force it had encountered. It understood connection now, at least in part. Aaron exhaled slowly, leaning against the cave wall. He felt drained but alive. The scout and the glowing alien hovered nearby, sharing in the quiet moment. They had done what seemed impossible. They had stopped chaos from feeding the presence without striking a blow. The scout finally spoke, voice softer than before. "You did it." "I did not think it was possible." Aaron shook his head slightly. "Not me alone. All three of us, together." The presence reacted to our connection. Not fear, not hate, life. The glowing alien's light flared briefly, a signal of approval. Aaron felt the warmth of understanding flow between them. Despite their differences, they were united by purpose. Above them, the fleets began to retreat slowly. The presence, while still vast and unknowable, pulled back slightly from the system. For the first time, space seemed quieter. The immediate threat had been contained. Aaron looked at the alien and the scout. They were tired, worn, but alive. They had survived disaster, space, and an ancient force beyond comprehension. And they had found connection in chaos. He felt a sense of hope, fragile but real. Humanity, and their allies, were not only survivors, they were connectors, capable of understanding forces far greater than themselves. The dead moon remained quiet, holding its secrets and its witnesses. The battle in space was no longer a storm of destruction, but a pause, a chance for understanding. Aaron, the glowing alien, and the scout knew that the universe had changed that day, not through force, but through connection and shared purpose. They did not speak much. Words were unnecessary. The silence held meaning. The connection remained, a fragile but unbroken thread stretching across species and minds. It was a promise that chaos did not have to be endless, that life could reach across differences, and that hope could survive even in the darkest reaches of space. And Aaron knew deep inside that the journey was far from over. There would be more challenges, more threats, more moments that would test their understanding and their unity. But they had proven one thing. Together, they could face the unimaginable. Together, they could find connection in chaos. The dead moon was still. The energy core pulsed softly, casting light across the cave walls, reflecting the calm after the storm. Aaron stood near it, the glowing alien hovering beside him. The scout was scanning the horizon, alert even when nothing seemed to move. Silence stretched around them, but it was different now. Quiet with understanding, not fear. Aaron took a slow breath. They had survived disaster, survived the presence, and survived the retreat of enemy fleets. But the system was not yet safe. The presence remained, vast and powerful, but it had learned something new. And Aaron knew it could not survive on chaos forever. He approached the energy core. Light flowed through his hands, as if it recognized him. The glowing alien tilted its head, observing. The scout stepped closer, hesitant but ready. "We have to finish it," Aaron said softly. "Not destroy it, not control it. We must guide it." The alien's light pulsed in agreement. The scout made a short, uncertain sound, then nodded. Aaron closed his eyes. He reached out with his mind, feeling the threads of the presence across the system. It pulsed vast and restless, trying to understand the connection he shared with the alien and the scout. He sent back calm, understanding, and the will to survive together, not apart. He focused on life, not fear, connection, not hate. The energy core responded, sending a wave outward. Light stretched from the cave, through the moon, and into space, reaching the distant fleets. Ships felt it immediately. Some halted their retreat, scanning their instruments. Others shivered with a strange energy, unable to act aggressively. The presence reacted, pulling back slightly, unsure of the new force at work. Aaron felt strain in his head and chest. The energy flowed through him, through the alien and the scout. He clutched his head, taking a deep breath. His body ached, but he held focus. Every thought, every feeling had to be steady. Any falter could send the presence into frenzy. "You are doing it," the scout said softly. "I never thought it possible." Aaron shook his head slowly. "Not alone. We are three. Together. That is what it listens to." The glowing alien moved closer, its light brightening. Its hands traced invisible patterns in the air, guiding the flow of energy. Aaron matched its focus, sending calm and connection into the universe. The scout joined in, lending strength and precision, channeling energy from the cave to the system beyond. Above them, the battle paused. Ships floated, scanning, hesitant. The presence pulsed, immense and aware. It had sensed something new, not destruction, not fear, but understanding. Aaron felt it responding, uncertain yet receptive. He reached deeper, sending thoughts of survival, hope, and shared purpose. He imagined humans rebuilding after disaster, aliens learning from mistakes, countless lives choosing to continue despite suffering. Light flowed from the core, traveling through space, threading into the fleets and brushing against the presence. A tremor shook the moon. Dust fell from the cave ceiling. Aaron held steady, guiding the energy, keeping his mind focused on connection. The scout adjusted instruments, monitoring ships and distant energy readings. The alien's glow pulsed, matching the rhythm of Aaron's thoughts. Then a ripple of understanding spread across the system. Ships stopped firing, crews hesitated. The presence pulsed, slower now, almost calm. It had learned the effect of connection, of empathy, of restraint. Aaron felt relief wash over him, but he did not stop. He knew the work was not complete. He focused harder, guiding the energy, amplifying the calm. The scout lent all strength, its voice soft with concentration. The alien hovered, light steady, precise, connected. Hours passed. The battle in space became a distant memory. Enemy fleets retreated slowly, some curious, some cautious. The presence drew back, vast and aware, acknowledging the new force it had felt. For the first time it hesitated, unsure of how to act. Aaron exhaled slowly. His body ached, his head throbbed, but he felt alive. The scout and the glowing alien were close, their presence steady, supporting him. The connection remained strong. Together, they had changed the system, the presence, and perhaps the universe. The scout finally spoke, voice soft. "We did it. The system is safe, for now." Aaron nodded, looking at the glowing alien. "Not just safe, changed. Not through destruction, but through understanding." The alien's light pulsed brightly, and Aaron felt warmth flow through him. The scout stepped closer, hesitant but accepting. For the first time, hostility and fear felt distant, replaced by unity. Above, the presence remained vast, still aware, but not dangerous. It had learned something from them. Connection was stronger than chaos. Understanding was more powerful than fear. Aaron looked at the scout and the alien. "We survived disaster, space, and a force older than anything we've known. And we survived because we chose to connect, not fight." The scout gave a short nod. "Then humanity is not just survivors. You are connectors, bridging worlds." The glowing alien flared once, bright and steady, confirming the truth. Aaron felt calm and hope deep inside him. They had done more than survive. They had proven that even in chaos, connection could triumph. The system, the fleets, the ancient presence, all had been affected by their choice, their unity. Aaron took a deep breath. The moon remained quiet, holding them in its gray embrace. The energy core pulsed softly, reflecting the calm they had brought into the universe. The scout and the glowing alien remained nearby, their presence steady and constant. Aaron knew the journey was not over. More challenges would come, more forces would test them, more chaos would rise. But he also knew something vital. Together, they could face the unimaginable. Together they could survive, and they could teach the universe that even in the darkest reaches of space, life, connection, and understanding could prevail. The three of them stood together looking out at the distant stars, at the system they had changed. For the first time, the universe seemed to hold its breath, aware of new hope, and a future where humanity's strength was not power, but connection. Aaron, the glowing alien, and the scout had become more than survivors. They had become proof that chaos could be met with understanding, and that even the oldest forces could learn from the courage of three souls united.